Hi everyone, welcome to the lecture on Z transform. First we understand why should we study Z transform, what is the use of Z transform. Z transform is used to analyze discrete time system. Discrete time system is a system whose input is discrete time signal and whose output is also another discrete time signal. This discrete time system processes that input and produces another output discrete time signal. If you want to analyze the performance or response of that system, we have to use Z transform. And the second use of Z transform is it is used to convert difference equations into algebraic equation. Any discrete time system can be described in terms of difference equations. If you want to analyze that system, we have to analyze that this difference equation, but it is very difficult to solve a difference equation. If we convert the difference equations into algebraic equation, it is very easy for us to solve that, and from that answer we can analyze the performance of the system. So if you want to convert that, that conversion process can be easily carried out by applying Z transform to the this difference equation. This is another important application of Z transform. If we want to analyze a continuous time system, we have to use Laplace transform, and Laplace transform is used to convert differential equation into algebraic equation. Differential equation is used to describe a continuous time system, whereas difference equation is used to describe a discrete time system. Please remember this. Now we study what is the equation of a Z transform. Z transform of any signal x of n is given by x of z is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z power minus n, where z is equal to e power j omega, not e power minus j omega. Z is equal to e power j omega. What is the significance of this e power j omega? We will see in the coming slide. So we have to remember these things. Z is equal to equals. This is the equation to find Z transform of any signal x of n. So what we understand here is if you apply Z transform to any signal x of n, what we get is x of z. So input is x of n to any discrete time system. If you apply Z transform, what we get is x of z. So this is forward Z transform. If you apply inverse Z transform, what we get is, you apply inverse Z transform to x of z, what we get is x of n. So it is a bidirectional. So you can go from left hand side to right hand side or left hand side to left hand side. So apply Z transform to x of n, you get x of z. Apply inverse Z transform to x of z, you get x of n. Right? So another thing we have to note is simply I can represent this big equation in terms of simpler manner. It is x of n. I apply Z transform to this x of n. What I get is x of z. It is a simple notation. Please remember these notations. It will be used widely in the coming lecture. Right? So z of x of n is equal to x of z. That means I apply Z transform to x of n, what I get is x of z. If I apply Z transform to y of n, what I get is y of z, like that. Now we will see what is the meaning, significance of z is equal to e power j omega. E power j omega is a very, very important factor in all the signals and system transformation. Let us see the significance now. So let me explain. Z is equal to e power j omega, I told. Right? So e power j omega I can write as cos omega plus j sin omega as per Euler's theorem. So if you take magnitude of e power j omega, that means I am taking the magnitude of z. So mod z is equal to mod e power j omega. So we know it is in a plus ib form, so complex number. For a plus ib, what is the magnitude? Root of a square plus b square. Here a is equal to cos, so cos squared omega B is equal to sine, so sine squared omega. So magnitude of A cos squared by sine squared is equal to 1. That means magnitude of e power j omega is equal to 1. That means mod z or magnitude of z is always equal to 1. Please remember, instead of omega, you can substitute anything. The magnitude is 1 because here instead of omega, you are substituting any number. Here also, instead of omega, you are substituting any number. So that is not at all going to affect your cos squared plus sine squared. So always the magnitude of e power j omega, where omega may be anything, is equal to 1. That is, e power j omega is a complex exponential. Why it is complex exponential? J represents complex, e is exponential. So magnitude of complex exponential is always 1. Please remember, this is very, very important point that we have to use in every equation or every concept of signals and system and DSP. So the magnitude of complex exponential is always equal to 1. So Z is also equal to 1 because Z is equal to e power j omega. So the magnitude of Z is equal to 1. Next, we go to phase. So phase of Z. So phase of Z means Z is equal to e power j omega. Z e power j omega. I know what is e power j omega, cos omega plus j sin omega. So for A plus IB format, what is the phase? Phase is given by tan inverse of B by A. B is sin omega, A is cos omega, because e power j omega is equal to cos omega plus j sin omega. So A is a cos omega, B is a sin omega. So pi is equal to tan inverse of B by A, tan inverse of tan omega. So tan inverse of tan omega is equal to sin omega by cos omega is equal to omega, tan omega. So tan inverse of tan omega is equal to omega. So what is the phase of Z? It is always omega. So these two things we should not forget. So magnitude of Z is always equal to 1. Phase of Z depends upon what is the value nearer to this j, e power j. If it is e power j 25, the phase of Z is equal to 25. If e power j 2 pi by n, what is the phase of Z? 2 pi by n. So we know that in any correct. So e power j theta, this is what your phase. So whatever the things lying nearer to that j is a phase. So simply, what is the magnitude of e power j theta? The magnitude is 1. What is the phase? Phase is theta. E power j theta is nothing but your, if theta is equal to omega, that will become z. So z is equal to e power j omega. So the magnitude of z is 1 and the phase of z is omega. This is what we found. So the magnitude of z is equal to 1 and the phase of z is equal to omega, where omega is a discrete frequency. Please remember, omega is a discrete frequency, where capital omega is a continuous frequency. There is a difference between discrete frequency and continuous frequency. Discrete frequency varies from 0 to 2 pi, whereas continuous frequency varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. Please remember this point. Since Z transform is working with the discrete time system, it will take a discrete frequency and its range is from 0 to 2 pi only. So in Z transform and DTFT, we are using omega value from 0 to 2 pi. So now we see mod Z is having a magnitude of 1, phase Z is having a phase of omega. So omega varies from 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi means what will happen? 0 to 2 pi means it will, let me explain that. So, okay, please wait. Okay, so omega varies from 0 to 2 pi, right? So what I told, now Z is equal to e power j omega. Now I represent Z is equal to e power j omega in Z plane. Z plane is a plane where x-axis represents real part of Z and y-axis represents imaginary part of Z. Now omega varies from 0 to 2 pi we know, and magnitude of Z is equal to 1. So In complex number, we have seen the magnitude represents this radius of the circle, right? Why it is circle? Because omega varies from 0 to 2 pi. So this is real part of z. Real part of z is nothing but cos omega, because z is equal to e power j omega. So e power j omega is cos omega plus j sin omega. Real part of z is cos omega. Imaginary part of z is sin omega. So omega varies from 0 to 2 pi. So I change omega from 0 to 2 pi. If I 360 means it is forming a circle. The radius is given by magnitude of z. We know that magnitude is always 1 for z is equal to e power j omega. So this is your unit circle. So z is equal to e power j omega represents a unit circle where radius is 1 and phase changes from 0 to 360 degree. That is very, very important. Now we will see the same thing is expressed here. Omega varies from 0 to 360 and x-axis represents real part of z and y-axis represents imaginary part of z, where radius of the circle is 1. Why it is 1? Because mod z is 1. Right? Next we see region of convergence. Region of convergence means in which region we can find z transform. Whatever the value of z, where z transform exists, that region is known as region of convergence. Right? That means if you are finding z transform of some signal x of n, and what you get is x of z. If x of z is finite for different values of z, then that is forming one region. That region is known as region of convergence. If x of z becomes infinity, then that means you cannot find, because the infinity is some number that I cannot express. So my region of convergence means where you have to be able to find the transform. So that means my z transform should be finite. That's why mod x of z should be less than infinity. Less than infinity is nothing but a finite value. So if you are able to find the transform, then that region is called the region of convergence. If you are getting z transform as infinity, then you are sure that there is no region of convergence. Region of convergence is a region where you can simply find the z transform. It is a layman's term, right? So if you wish to find the meaning of the definition in engineering point of view, I am writing here. So for a given sequence x of n, the set of values of z for which the z transform converges. For z transform convergence means the z transform exists. That means z transform finite. That's why it is less than infinity. Something which is less than infinity is known as finite. So x of z is finite is called the region of convergence. That means I must be able to find mod x of z. Mod x of z. So I take both sides more or less. We know x of z equation is summation n tends to minus infinity plus infinity x of n z power minus n. Take more or less on both sides. So mod x of z. Just now only we found mod of z is equal to 1. So you can remove this mod of z and it will become 1. So if you want to find z transform, what you have to ensure? Summation n goes to minus infinity to plus infinity x of n should be less than infinity. For such type of signals only you can find z transform. This is the condition for existence of z transform. So this is what I want to emphasize. So the condition for existence of z transform of any signal x of n is it must be absolutely summable. Absolutely summable means the sum should not become infinity. That's why I put it must be less than infinity. It is finite. We must be able to find the sum of x of n. Otherwise, we cannot find z transform. Okay. I hope you understand everything very clearly. If you are having any doubt, you ask in comment section. So the conclusion is z transform is used to convert a difference equation into algebraic equation. It is used to analyze discrete time system, and region of convergence is a region where you can find z transform. For z transform to exist for any signal x of n, the signal must be absolutely summable. Clear? So that's it. Thank you.